first of all, I do know Jeff in terms of the person, and I think this guy was a great football player, and I think he knows the game really, really well. I would assume, again, I'm not in their building, so I don't really know, but I would assume that they're going to let the coaches that have been there coach, and the scheme isn't going to dramatically change on offense, defense, or in the kicking game. And we talked this morning, they're going to be ready to go because Jeff will have them ready to go. He's a football player at heart, he's a football person at heart, and he knows what goes into winning and losing. He was a tough player when he played. They're a tough football team. They're all about field position and trying to take care of the football, trying to create turnovers on defense. So we're going to be ready to go. I know he'll have them ready to go, and I don't expect that the scheme will dramatically shift.
Josh McDaniels, coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, he won't be the coach on Monday if he loses to Saturday on Sunday. Been trying that one out, but it's true. I think. Hey, this experiment in Las Vegas hasn't been working with a guy who was a coach a decade ago, goes back and becomes a great offensive coordinator. This may be just another Norv Turner, Wade Phillips, great coordinator, great enough to keep getting opportunities to be a head coach, but not good enough to be a head coach. Now comes the even more ridiculous experiment of plucking a guy out of the wilderness who hasn't played in more than a decade, who was a high school coach for 3 years and went 20-16, doesn't scream out Vincent Lombardi, and you drop him in after the owner badmouths all NFL coaches by saying they're afraid of their own shadow. And now they got to throw it all together in 5 days from the day that this all went down. It's amazing. I mean, 6 days technically. They've got to do it all on the fly, and who's calling plays, and how are we going to get the players comfortable to what's happened. Frank Reich's gone, and this guy they don't even know is in. If it works, I love chaos. And if this Jeff Saturday thing works, it unlocks a new universe of potential coaches of teams. You don't have to be on a staff. You don't have to be a coach. Just get some former player to come in and be the coach of the team. And, hey, if it works with Jeff Saturday, it can work with anyone.
Yeah, it's interesting, Mike, and I'm with you. This is a game that it's almost like watching a NASCAR race, right? You're waiting for the wreck. Like, I want to watch this game just to see if there's a train wreck during the game, to see what's going to go wrong possibly for the Colts in this game. The Raiders are terrible on defense. They're giving up 25.1 points per game. That's 28th in the NFL, but they're playing the team that's last in the NFL in scoring at 14.7 points per game. So, yeah, I'm with you. If the Raiders go out there and give up their average 25 points and lose this game, I think Josh McDaniels could be in trouble come Monday. This is a game that the Raiders should win, and they should win easily. It shouldn't be a contest. They should get up by 17, and guess what? They should hold that lead, something they haven't been able to do this year, and lost 3 games when they've led by 17 or more points. But I think in this game, Mike, you have to be able to hold that lead.
Raiders now favored by 4.5. It was 6. So there are some folks out there who believe in Jeff Saturday and company. Sam Ehlinger's getting his 3rd start with his 3rd different offensive coordinator. Parks Frazier, 30 years old, who 3 years ago was the assistant to the head coach, and as Sims said, was basically getting his dry cleaning and his coffee, is now calling the plays for the Indianapolis Colts, in part because Scott Milanovic decided to pass on the opportunity to do so. He's the quarterback's coach. And, one more point before we move on to the next game. This idea of Matt Ryan playing again. When Frank Reich made the announcement 2+ weeks ago, he said Sam Ehlinger is a starter for the rest of the season. And it was obvious that this was a business decision because if Matt Ryan can't pass a physical by the middle of March, he's got $17 million more fully guaranteed on top of the $12 million or so he's got fully guaranteed for next year. Now you got Irsay pushing back. Well, that was never the case. And whoever gets the best chance to win. And it'll be something if Matt Ryan plays again after the last coach of the team said Sam Ehlinger is the starter for the rest of the year. But with the Colts right now, given what Jim Irsay is doing, all bets are off. And it's entertaining. We get to see 3 of the final 8 games standalone. 2 on Monday night, 1 on Sunday night in Dallas or Arlington against your Cowboys. And that ain't getting flexed because it's the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, we're going to see the Colts, and we're going to get to see this train wreck. And and see what happens with Jeff Saturday. Maybe it's not a train wreck. Like you said, maybe if it works out, this is a whole new thing that teams go to, and Jeff Saturday gets that job after a Rooney Rule search that we know won't really be a Rooney Rule search if they finish out well. But, you know, you look at the Raiders, had a similar situation last year with Rich Bisaccia, came in, and this is about the point when they turned it around and ended up making the postseason. And you look at them, maybe they should have kept Rich Bisaccia. Maybe they would have been in better shape right now than where they are, because to me, this is the most disappointing team in the NFL. I thought they were going to win that division. I thought they were going to be better than Kansas City. They're not. And they're not the worst team in that division. I still think it's the Broncos, but they have the worst record in that division. And they don't look like a real NFL team. They just don't look very good. And you can't blame that all on injuries, Mike. You can't say, well, we haven't had Darren Waller for most of the year, and now he and Hunter Renfrow on IR. Big deal. Go out and win games anyway. You have enough talent there to do that.
Prediction, Jeff Saturday will be the coach of the Colts in 2023. And I hope that all other candidates who are approached to interview say no thank you. Because I can already feel that Jim Irsay wants Saturday to be the coach beyond this year. Broncos coming out of their bye at 3-5, taking on the Titans 5-3, trying to get their balance back after losing a game they could have and should have won in Kansas City. Ryan Tannehill fully participated in practice on Thursday. He's expected to be back. But this is still about that Broncos offense. How much better do we really expect it to be after the bye? And, you know, does Russell Wilson get any motivation out of this wristband talk, which has kind of made him, thanks to Pete Carroll and the way he framed it, has made Wilson look a little stubborn and petulant, refusing to wear a wristband in a way that may have helped streamline the offense in Seattle and could streamline it in Denver as well.
But here's the funny thing. He wore the wristband in the last game for the Broncos, Mike, and they did well. He passed for 252 yards and a touchdown. So maybe he needs to wear that thing all the time because he's played well, apparently, when he's worn that thing. But, yeah, he wouldn't wear it in Seattle, and now it's being made a big deal of it. So what are you going to do when he goes out there on Sunday? You're going to look to see if he has a wristband on. He's worn it in a handful of games and probably should wear it more. And there's nothing bad about wearing it, and I don't know if he thinks maybe there is.
But the fact that he doesn't wear it all the time proves that there is some push and pull. There's some tension. He doesn't want to do it. There's this outdated mindset that it makes you look stupid if you have it on. Donovan McNabb with Washington, with Mike and Kyle Shanahan, didn't want to wear it. That was a story for a while. Hey, Tom Brady has one and has had one forever. And Sims explained this yesterday. Very, very simple reason for it. When you have these long play calls, if the coach simply has to say 27 instead of saying the whole play, you get things moving faster. And what's been the problem with the Broncos this year? They don't move things fast enough. So once Nathaniel Hackett picks a play, all he's got to say is 27. And Russell finds number 27, and he says it instead of Hackett saying the whole play call and then Russell Wilson repeating the whole play call. You streamline the operation. So it's amazing this has become a thing, but thanks to Pete Carroll, who made that little comment the other day. There was resistance. That's all he had to say. The media did the rest, and we'll see what happens. And the other thing, too, about this game, I'm stunned that the Titans are only favored by 2.5. I was stunned last week that the Titans were 12.5-point underdogs. Why is there no respect in Vegas for the Tennessee Titans or among the betting public that would put the money on the Titans and drive the betting line in their favor? It really is weird to me that the Titans don't get more respect. Let's move on to the Cardinals and the Rams. 3-6 Arizona, 3-5 L.A. Matthew Stafford in the concussion protocol for something that we still don't know what it was. We don't know if he'll be back. They have Bryce Perkins and John Wolford. Wolford is technically the number 2, but with Sean McVay, who knows what he'll do if he can't get Stafford on the field. Can the Rams win if they don't have Stafford, Shireen?
Well, you know, they did that with John Wolford once before when they needed to win the game, and they did that. These teams, Mike, are a lot different. You think back to last year that met in the wild card round of the postseason. They don't look anything like themselves. Rams now have lost 4 or 5. I think they have a shot just because I haven't seen anything out of the Cardinals that tells me that they're a contender, that you can count on them week in and week out to win a game. And you know what? If Kyler Murray's hamstring doesn't allow him to run, he's a completely different quarterback if he has to sit in the pocket and make plays out of the pocket. So, yeah, I give the Rams a chance in this one. It's not a game that I'm particularly looking forward to, simply because neither team has shown me much this year to say they can get this thing turned around and have a chance to win that division.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.